second part of this question was what would we see coming next in line? And I thought when I read that of you mentioned Oz's relationship to Francis Schaeffer. Schaeffer was Oz's mentor originally there at L'Abri. And 20 years ago, I was in a taxi cab with Dr. Schaeffer, and I asked him, I said, what is your greatest concern for the future of America? And he didn't hesitate. His reply was statism. And I've watched it develop in the last 20 years, and there is a snowball effect where the federal government just gets bigger and bigger, and its authority in human life is larger and larger and larger, and the whole difference between separation of state and God, or state and church, has now become separation of state and God, where the state sees itself as autonomous. And what that has done in every other nation that has gone that way is terrifying. And I don't see how we will escape those same consequences.
No, absolutely. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons that Marxism fell as a worldview is because everyone wanted a cell phone. And it was clear that Marxism wasn't going to give everyone a cell phone. And so, I mean, I'm serious. I mean, that has a lot. That's part of the reason why, you know, you talk about Marxism in China. You can talk about communism in terms of the governmental structure, but you really can't talk about Marxism in China, not at the economic level. But the communist worldview required a hard-booted government in terms of its force. But what we have is the regulatory state. And R.C., I agree with you entirely. What happens is, if you want a world in which everyone has cell phones, you got to have a lot of rules about how that's going to work. And so it's the soft coercion of the regulatory state I think we have to worry about.